Ashley-Level. Thank you so much for joining me. So, I hope everybody's week has gone well. We of course we've had a lot of rain. So I'm curious where do you live and if you've had a lot of rain as well. Uh, it's been thundering a lot here for like all week and last week. So like last week or last night I woke up and I could see like the lightning in the sky, and I heard the thunder like in the distance, and both my cats were like laying on my bed, and uh Batman gets really hyper during like thunderstorms and rains and stuff. So I'm just like, calm down, Batman, it's just a storm. And I don't think Spook likes him very much because she normally will lay by me because she does get scared of him sometimes. So it's like, okay, just lay next to Mama. Okay. Was when Olivia's mom, Doreen, decided to have Olivia go to the therapist because she thinks she's just having like day tears and it's nothing like to worry about. But then it keeps happening, so she sends Olivia to the therapist, and that's where we left off. And so Olivia goes to the therapist's office, and we're actually in the middle of the conversation right now. So Olivia is like telling the therapist that inside she's having a hard time like telling him because she's so afraid she's gonna get sent to like the psych unit. So this is chapter 19, and this is where we are. Dr. Stu walked over to the door and opened it. He stood there and waited as Olivia got up. "Thank you for coming, Olivia." "You're welcome." She sat between her parents. "Griffin, Doreen, would you like to come in?" They both got up and walked into the office. The front desk lady got up from the chair and walked over to Olivia. "Would you like a drink of water?" Olivia shook her head. The lady walked away and sat back at the desk. Olivia moved over to the chair that sat close to the office door. Dr. Stu's voice was faint, but she could still hear them. Good to see you again, sir. Good to see you again, Griffin. It's about time you come around to show your face." Olivia's dad chuckled. "Yeah, I know. How's Canada?" "Good. I've had a lot of clients and done a lot of new blueprints this year." "How is my daughter, Dr. Stu?" her mom interrupted. I'm worried about her." "Well, as far as I know, there's definitely something going on with Olivia." Olivia's eyes widened and her stomach sunk. If her parents believed him, then Dr. Stu might consider sending her off to a psych unit. "She won't tell you what's going on with her?" her mom continued, then exhaled. "What did she say to you?" The lady at the front desk got up from her chair with a thin yellow folder in her hands and walked down the long hallway. Once the lady turned the corner, Olivia flew up from the chair and held her head against the door and listened. Something is bothering her. Maybe it's the divorce, or her grandpa passing away. Her nails dug against the door, her teeth gritted. People needs to stop talking about my grandpa." "What?" Olivia's mom asked. "But why didn't she tell me if that was bothering her?" "Well, Doreen, a lot of 17-year-olds don't tell their parents everything. That goes on in their lives. That's the way they want it. They're getting older and pulling away from their parents." "Do you know what's going on with my daughter or not?" She wakes up screaming that something is attacking her. Do you think that's normal, Dr. Stu? No, I don't think that's normal, Doreen, he replied. Do you think she could be doing all this to get attention? Her dad asked. Maybe. But there is something else that Olivia told me I think you should know about. Olivia's heart skipped a beat and her cheeks warmed. I think you should know about. Olivia's heart skipped a beat and her. Oh, I'm sorry. Her palms sweated and her heart thudded. Oh God, what's he going to say? I hope I didn't say something I'll regret. And what's that? Her dad asked. I asked her what happened and she said they're already dead. Silence grew in the room. What is she talking about? Her mom asked. Hauntings? Hi, Spooky. Hi, Kitty. I told her not to watch those TV shows, her mom breathed the words out. I want you to do something for me, Dr. Stu said. What's he doing now? If only I could see. What's this for? Her mom asked. Homework. I want you to start writing down everything that happens with her. If she starts acting up again, write it down. Name, date, place, everything. Can you do that for me, Doreen? Silence resigned. Okay, yes. I'll give it a try. You won't try, you will do it. Olivia heard a chair scoot back. She saw the woman turn the corner, scanning through papers in the yellow folder she had taken with her. Olivia ran back to the chair and tipped her head down. Footsteps came closer to the door. Voices grew louder and clearer. The door opened. See you later, Dr. Stu. Olivia stood up and looked at Dr. Stu. Thank you, Dr. Stu. Let's go, her mom said, then reached out to her. Olivia and her parents walked towards the door. Okay. It opened, and she saw a young girl about her height. She had long blonde hair below her shoulders and blue eyes. She walked right past Olivia and stopped by the front desk. Hi, Madison, how are you? The lady asked. Is Dr. Stu in? I need to talk to him. Olivia walked out the front door with her mom. Her dad followed behind. Olivia's mom pulled her keys out, pushed a button on the keychain, then opened the car door and got in. Olivia looked at her dad and wrapped an arm around him. It's not your fault, Dad. I know. He kissed her on the head and opened the door. He got in, then closed it. On the way back home, nobody spoke. Only the radio played. It was the quietest car ride Olivia had ever experienced. Her mom turned the corner onto the gravel road. Tires crunched over the different-sized rocks. A cloud of dust followed behind the car. Olivia, if something is going on, you need to tell us. I want to help you, she explained. I know, Mom. I can't help you if you don't tell me. Olivia shook her head and avoided eye contact. It's nothing to worry about. I'm fine. It doesn't seem like you're fine. You're having nightmares. You're waking up in the middle of the night screaming bloody murder. You call that normal? No. Olivia's mom pulled into the driveway. Once the car stopped, Olivia got out and ran into the house and closed the door behind her. She didn't want to listen to her mom and dad argue. She sat on the couch as her parents entered the kitchen. Her mom stopped by the island and set her purse down on the counter, then went upstairs and closed the door. Her dad went out back and sat by the fire pit. Olivia sat there silent, looking down at her hands, then turned her head and saw the phone. She paused, then reached over and dialed Fern's number. Olivia sat back down on the couch. It didn't take long for Fern to answer. Hey, baby sis. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing much, just getting ready for a photo shoot. A photo shoot seems fun. They can be. What are you doing? Olivia rubbed her chin, staring at the staircase. Just thinking. About what? Olivia heard voices in the background. You sound busy. I'll call you some other time. No, it's fine. I'm not up for a while. Tell me what you're talking about. What you're thinking about. I don't know. I've been having really horrible, vivid dreams. They feel so real. That's weird. Here you go, Fern, a woman said on the other side of the line. Thank you. That's weird. You don't dream that much. What have you been watching? You know what Mom and Dad said. Olivia rolled her eyes and listened. Horror movies give you nightmares. And don't roll your eyes, little sis. It's not horror movies that give me nightmares. You're not supposed to be watching them. I'm not. I don't understand why I'm having these dreams. I really don't. What did you do in the past week? Footsteps caught Olivia's attention and she looked up at the ceiling. Hello, Olivia. Who's upstairs now? Probably Mom. She listened closer and the steps sounded like high heels. Why would her mom be wearing high heels? She didn't have any on when they left and came back. Olivia, are you there, sis? Oh, yeah. Olivia shook her head and chuckled. Sorry, Fern. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Are you sure? You're sounding different. Yeah, I'm sure. Do you hear that? Hear what? The sounds. Fern paused. Yeah, I hear them. Maybe it's a draft going through the house. Olivia did see a window open, but the wind couldn't make high heel sounds. It can't be a draft, Fern. I keep hearing footsteps. Olivia rubbed the bridge of her nose. Oh my gosh, that scared the spook. Oh my lord, that scared the You scared me. What are you doing? See, this is what happens every time I read something scary. Spook's over there coughing. That scared the crap out of me. Oh, you scared? Okay, my bad. Oh my lord. Whew. Okay, where was I? That distracted me. Oh my gosh. Don't scare me like that again. Jeez, that really scared. Well, I don't know then, sis. Maybe the house is settling. Who knows? Olivia couldn't tell Fern she was seeing shadow creatures that were trying to kill her, so she lied. Maybe I'm just hearing things. She knew it wasn't the house settling or a draft, but she wasn't going upstairs to find out what it was. She didn't need to. She already knew. Fern, we're ready for you, a woman said. Okay, I have to go, sis. Call me soon, okay? Okay, I will. I love you. Love you too, baby sis. Olivia hung up the phone and leaned back to the couch. Olivia's mom walked into the living room and stopped by the couch. What did Fern have to say? She crossed both arms. Not much. I was telling her about the dreams I keep having. Later that night, Olivia had an overwhelming feeling like she was being watched by someone or something again. The feeling was threatening, like whatever it was wanted her dead. She never felt like this until she'd been attacked by the shadow creatures. Her mom was in the kitchen drinking honey tea. Like a prisoner in her own home, she knew she couldn't fight it herself, or could she? She opened her eyes and looked out the window by the front door, where the moonlight shined in, and there it was, a little figure peeking in from outside. He was only there for a few seconds, just long enough to give Olivia a chance to see him. He wore a white shirt and his hair was dark. Olivia shot up from the chair. Her hands shook out of control. Who was that? She slowly walked over to the edge of the sink and leaned towards the window. Was there a kid running around outside? She lifted her hand to the curtain and peered out. There was nothing to see, just the moonlight shining down on the ground. Olivia lowered her head and exhaled, then lifted her head back up. An image of a little boy stood there by the couch, staring at her reflection in the window. She spun around, her breath jagged. The boy was gone. That's just great. Now he's in the house? That's not going to make Mom too happy. Her mom and dad came into the living room. What are you doing? Her mom asked. Nothing. I wanted to see how big the moon was. She sat back down and flipped through the channels. Is there something you want to tell me? You won't believe me. Just trust me. I think I know what's wrong with the house. The house? Olivia's mom asked, then took a drink. What do you mean by that? The house is infested with, she paused, shadow creatures? Olivia's parents looked at each other, then back at Olivia. Shadow creatures? Her mom repeated. Olivia nodded. Her mom didn't say anything. Olivia got up. I knew you wouldn't believe me. Olivia, I didn't say anything. I read it on your face. Olivia didn't let her answer and went upstairs to her mom's room. Through the night, Olivia couldn't get to sleep, and honestly, she didn't want to. But at least she did feel safe around her mom and dad. Once the morning sun had risen and shone through the window, she pulled the covers off, and studied the floor before heading downstairs. After her mom had made breakfast, she got dressed in her mom's room, then walked down the long hallway and stopped in the doorway. Both arms crossed, she stared in the room, took in a deep breath, and slowly let it out. She closed her eyes and said a prayer, then tipped over to the desk. Olivia grabbed the library card and stepped backwards out of the room, then hurried down the staircase. Okay, now we're going to a different character's point of view in the same chapter. Black mist floated inside the glass ball as Inga scowled down at it. She lifted her hand above it as Olivia appeared inside it. She was in a taxi heading to her destination. Inga gritted her teeth, her eyes brightened. She dug her nails into her palms, her whole body tense, her muscles quivered, and her breathing deepened. She turned around and grimaced. Joseph, Peter, Mark, George. The demons came into view. Thy have failed your master. The demons bolted out of the room, but one of them wasn't as lucky like the rest. George was caught by a force that released from Inga's hand. She grabbed the dagger on the table beside her. The light in the handle grew brighter, just as her emerald diamond did. It glowed around the blade and the handle, over her hand and up to her elbow. Inga grabbed George by the neck and squeezed tight. The pressure brought him to his knees. You kneel before thy. She stepped away and pointed the dagger at George. Red and black mist combined together and bolted from the blade tip and knocked him backwards to the wooden floor. From his feet to his head, he turned hard as a rock. Inga marched over, then jabbed the dagger in his chest. He groaned in pain so loud that things in the room jiggled and fell over on the shelves and tables. He dried up and fell into pieces onto the floor. Inga wasn't going to rest until she had finished her job. She knew getting Olivia's soul wasn't going to be easy. Not when the parents kept getting involved and interrupted her dark forces at work. Of all the kids she had killed, Olivia had to be by far the hardest one to get. Inga turned around, set the dagger on the table, and stood in front of the thick book. She had to think of a new way to kill Olivia and take her soul. Then she could go on her way. Okay, that is it. I'm really sorry. I just got scared earlier that Spook had sneezed. I think she was over here under the table, like right there, and she sneezed and I jumped when I was reading that scene. Every time I'm watching like a scary movie or if I'm reading a scary book, I always jump or something. But anyways, so chapter 19 was I don't remember like during the time I was writing it, but I knew I needed to bring in, so the little boy that Olivia kept seeing it's her ancestor, and he keeps showing up, and I don't want her to see him as much because he's gonna play out a role in he's gonna play a bigger role in the second, third, and fourth book, so I didn't bring him in like too much. There's times where like he does show up in her dreams a lot, and then there's times where he will, he'll be inside the house, and her mom is concerned, and her mom has to remember to keep writing things down. So when she does that, Olivia feels uncomfortable because now she's being watched and she just doesn't like it. And then for Inga's point of view, I wasn't getting in her head and like showing her backstory and stuff. So I wanted to bring Inga in again, and I am like really excited to be in her point of view. And when I was writing this book, like it took me like 9 years to like write this book, and it took me a while to develop Inga and her backstory, but I didn't want to give too much away from Inga because there's like 3 more books in the series, and I just had a lot of fun with her character. And even though she's like an evil character and she kills kids for energy, we all have a story to tell, so I just really wanted to tell her story. And so the next chapter that I'm going to be reading next Wednesday, I'm bringing in another new character, which, oh my gosh, I had so much fun writing her character, and I can relate with her in a lot of ways. So I hope you guys stay tuned for the next chapter reading, which is, I got my planner. I always have this with me when I'm done reading because I'm always afraid I'm going to say the wrong date or something. So, okay, let's see. Okay, so chapter 19. Okay, so tomorrow, my little slippy bags are over there. Okay, so on Tuesday during farmer's market, it rained. It rained a lot, and my books were like, they didn't get ruined, but there was like my book Mystical, it had like a huge water drip on it, and like it was raining and the wind was sort of, pushing the wind. And all of my books had like little tiny raindrops, sprinkles. And I didn't want my books to get ruined. I did sell one book. I sold Love Myself, I think. And I guess the weather was going to get really bad at 5 o'clock. So I told the lady that runs it, Judy, I said, I don't want my books to get ruined. Is it okay if I leave early? Not long after I had left, everybody else packed their stuff up and left. And then like 15 minutes later, when I was already home, the sun was shining. So I guess we probably could have stayed longer, but it's better to be safe than sorry, because I can't afford to have my books get ruined. But I went to Walmart today. A friend of mine's Wednesday night suggested to me, a lot of people ask me like, how did farmers market go and whatnot, and I told her what had happened, and she said I could get like these magazine cover things. They're over there, but I'll show them tomorrow when I'm at farmers market. So they're like big envelopes with a zipper, and they're clear, and you just put anything in it. So I was like, I found them at Dollar Tree, and they were $1 each. They had like 5 left, so I went ahead and just took them all, and I bought them all. And of course, so I'm just gonna add this in for the heck of it. There was an older guy behind me, and he had like 2 items in his cart. And at first I didn't know he was an older guy. I just saw there was a guy standing there, and he had only like 2 things in his cart. So I told the cash register, I said, add those onto my bill. So I paid for him, and he's like, oh, why did you do that? And I was like, because I just wanted to be nice. And he wanted to pay me for it, and I said, no, you just go, you just keep it. So I paid for his stuff, and I mean, we need more people like that in this world. Love and kindness. So anyways, I bought those clear folder things, and I can put my books in it to protect it from the rain, and I didn't even think about that. So I'm going to give it a try tomorrow. So since I have those, I am going to do farmers market tomorrow. They said it's supposed to like rain. I just hope it doesn't rain too hard. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to, man, I'm tired. I'm going to put probably just one copy of each of my books on the table, because I didn't get enough covers for all of the books, because I normally just take like 5 books of each to the farmers market. So because my shelf over there, I have a whole bunch of books, mostly of I'll have to say probably mystical, because I just ordered those in. So anyways, yes, so alright, so hopefully those covers will work tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow is farmers market from 8 to 12. That is Saturday the 26th. And then my next live, But First Coffee with Ashley, will be 9 o'clock a.m. That'll be Tuesday the 29th. And then on Wednesday the 30th, I have my prayer meeting at 7. I'll be doing another live reading of the Wish Chapter 20, which Chapter 20, let me look. Chapter 20 is when you meet another newest character, and I am just so excited for you guys to like meet her. I had so much fun writing her character. I knew I had to have her be a point of view character, because when I wrote her character, I had all of this information, and I'm like, I have to do it. So Wednesday the 30th, I'll be doing the live reading at 4 o'clock, chapter 20. And then Friday the 2nd, I'll be cleaning the church. So 6:45, chapter 21, Friday the 2nd. And then Saturday the 3rd, I will be doing farmer's market from 8 to 12. And then I have a live reading of chapter 22 at 3 o'clock. I don't know why. Maybe I did it for a reason. I don't know. I never do a live chapter reading on Saturdays. 21. Okay, 22. Yeah, I don't know. Chapter 22 is when Olivia's dad gets attacked by the unknown. Okay. Yeah, those, I don't know. I guess I'll just go ahead and read it. After farmer's market, oh wait, I can't. I can't because I am going to the park and there's like a bunch of activities going on, and I'm actually doing the sand table where you can pour sand into vases and make it different or whatever. I'm actually doing that. So this, I'm gonna have to actually do this. I don't know when I'll be done with that. I think like 2 to 5 or something. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna have to do that on a different day. Okay, so that is my schedule for the next week. And if you have any questions about this chapter, what you liked about it, or what was interesting, or if it's what scared you or whatnot, you can comment down below. And thank you so much for reading along with me and watching. Oh man. Batman, do you want to say bye? Batman. Oh, he's right there. Batman. Hi. Okay, he's not going to say bye. Okay, I will see you guys in the next live chat. So have a great weekend and God bless. Bye.